But then we revealed to him that Augusta has caved, and now they are allowing players on the LIV Tour, Mike, to play at Augusta, which was really the last bit of leverage the PGA Tour had over their golfers.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll just be the only game in town, right? That's the goal. The goal is just buy everybody out. You know what this reminds me of, actually? Can I tell you a brief story?
Yeah. So
I was having this discussion with Bill Simmons, who's a good friend of mine.
Sports guy.
So Bill and I were thinking about like times in history when major sports leagues kind of went off the rails, right? And he was like, you know what this reminds me of? And then he told me that he had been having a conversation with Seth Meyers from SNL.
Is that for Simmons?
And Seth is actually a very good friend of mine. He was actually the best man at my wedding.
He was?
Seth was the best man at my wedding. So I hadn't talked to Seth in a long time. So I texted him. I was like, hey, can you talk about this thing Simmons and I are talking about? And he was like, I can't. I'm out to dinner with Amy Poehler.
Mike.
So I was like, well, let's just FaceTime. Let's just all FaceTime right now because I haven't talked to Amy in a long time. Amy and I used to work together at Parks and Recreation. So they FaceTimed us. So it was me and Bill Simmons and Amy Poehler and Seth Meyers were all FaceTiming. And Amy, I was like, Amy, do you know Bill? And she was like, I don't think so, but they're from the same neighborhood in Boston. And he was like, oh, you're from Lexington? And she was like, no, I can't remember where she's from. He was like, oh, you're thinking of John Krasinski. I also used to work with John Krasinski at The Office. And so they were kind of catching up and they were talking about Boston. We were all talking about Boston. And then into Simmons' house walked Mike O'Malley, the writer and actor Mike O'Malley.
Ooh, from Guts?
From Guts. And Mike and I are old friends too because he was actually on an episode of Parks and Recreation that I wrote a long time ago.
Do you have it?
So we were all talking about this and then we realized that what's really going on here essentially is that these sports leagues have just decided that, you know, like LIV Golf, that they just don't care about the consumer anymore. And I was like, I mean, they're not wrong to. I can't remember the last time I watched golf. And then I remembered the last time I had watched any golf at all. I was watching a golf match here in Los Angeles with Steve Carell from Parks and Rec, from The Office. And I can't remember who else was there. I want to say John Krasinski was actually there too. But the point is that we hadn't. I just hadn't watched golf in a long time, and that's why something like LIV Golf can get away with what they're getting away with. Woody, how'd I do?
Was there a story?
How'd I do, Woody? Wait,
that was 11. Look at me, Louie.
Yeah,
that's a record.
So that is an all-time record. We gotta give him the fanfare for that all-time record for Look at Me, Louie.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you so much. I wish I had an actual trophy to hold, but for now I'll just hold this Emmy.
Wow!
No, hold on. Sorry, it's too big. I'm gonna hold this Peabody Award that I won instead.
Kind of underwhelming award.
Thank you, Le Batard Show. Thanks to Amin Al Hassan for inventing the term "Look at me, Louie." I think accidentally, like he was maybe trying to say "looky Lou" and then by accident made up a term that we all use. Anyway, thanks to him, of course. Thanks to all the legends of the Look at Me Louie game, the guys I grew up watching and idolizing for their ability to always make it all about them. J.J. Watt, John Harbaugh, Aaron Rodgers, Monty Williams, Elon Musk,
Salt Bae,
Nick Saban, everyone who's ever hosted a Drive Time Boston area sports talk radio show, LeBron, The Rock, most Major League Baseball umpires, all NBA referees, anybody who posts a picture on Twitter when a celebrity dies just to prove that they knew the celebrity. Of course, Darren Rovell is a good one, and of course, Chris Whittingham. Thank you. I'm so proud to hold the all-time Le Batard Show record for most Look at Me Louie's in one segment. Thank you.
Way to go.
Very good. Congratulations.
Mike, I have a follow-up. You said Seth Meyers was your best man. Do you have like a real-life best friend that was offended you chose your celebrity best friend?
Now I'm going to get Look at Me Louie for real.
Do it.
It's not going to be a bit anymore.
I want the entire wedding party. I mean,
You
Well,
had to have like your friend that was like, you grew
Went
up
to
with
college
them,
together or high school or something.
and you chose your celebrity best friend.
Did you ask
His name is
Regis for your
Dave.
wife's hand?
I did.
Reg.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I'll tell you. Who got look at me, Louie? There, Cody.
No, me.
You for
Yeah, for
asking for
asking.
Regis Philbin's hand.
Yeah,
in
Reg.
marriage.
Of course.
Well, he didn't ask for Regis Philbin's hand.
Thought you never asked.
That's actually not far off from what happened.
So who was a real friend that was offended?
No one was offended. I asked Seth. Seth and I had gotten very close, and I'm so now.
Do you
I
have
think
normal
I'm gonna get hit with
friends?
it for real.
yeah.
Do you have real friends like normal?
I do. Yes, I have
People
real
we've
friends.
never heard of.
But
Bill?
I thought that giving a speech at the wedding was going to be a tricky thing to do, and I thought that Seth would be more comfortable doing it than maybe.
So your real friends are boring.
So
yeah.
yes, you did have a friend.
They're not as talented.
My best man selection, I went to keep things simple. I went with a brother-in-law, but I have two brother-in-laws, and it came down to who I trusted more with the speech. So
Yeah,
the older
right.
brother got it.
Right.
So you're basically
That's the
saying
deal.
that the people who attended your wedding needed to be wowed by the speech, and
Great
so you went
orator.
for Seth
No,
Meyers.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the person who gave the speech was going to be in a certain kind of spotlight that I thought he would handle very well. And also, we were legitimately very close friends. We had been working together for a long time, and it made sense.
Who was at your
God,
wedding?
get off my back.
Who at your wedding in the audience were you trying to impress with Seth? Like, who were you trying to impress with the
I
guest
wasn't trying
list?
to impress anybody, Billy. It wasn't about impressing
Lauren
people.
was there. Who were we
It was merely thinking about who would deal with the pressure the best of anyone, and I thought that.
What was his
answer
opener?
Seth.
Why was there so much pressure on this?
Because
You're a
Because of
celebrity.
who was there?
See,
Because
now,
of the
listen,
attendees.
So here's what's going on right now. That I texted Whitty last night. It was like, hey, I have a dumb bit I want to do on the show. I want to see how many times I can get look at me Louie, and then claim that I set an all-time Le Batard Show record. Now,
We're here.
because of the dumb bit, you're trapping me into getting look at me Louie for real. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to answer.
You're
this
the one
question.
that said that.
Sounds like you wanted to show off your trophies.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Who are the groomsmen?
Well,
Just like
you're the
help
one
us
that
out.
said. You're the one that said that you based your best man selection because of the pressure associated with, and that leads
because
to
of
an
the
obvious
guests at
doesn't
the
wanna hurt-
wedding, not
of the guest
necessarily
list.
He doesn't want to
our
hurt
guests.
Kyle's feelings.
What?
because of the guest
Some
list.
of our guests and some of my in-laws guests were people of note.
Yeah.
And I
Who
didn't
attended the
want
wedding?
to-
Top
Hit it, Whitty.
five?
Yeah,
give us a
Top 5 people who attended
Yeah,
your
top
wedding.
5
Can you do that, please?
People of
Please?
note.
Top
People
5
of
people of
note.
I wanna
note at
change
your
up
Yeah,
the
wedding.
to
way you say
impress
it.
them.
Right.
I mean, that's,
Who was the
there's nothing wrong
least
with that.
favorite person at
Oh,
your
the
wedding?
OLI is going to be
Mike Schur lives in
controversial.
a different world than we do.
Kyle
okay?
can't give a
I mean,
speech and impress Kathy Lee Griffin.
The crappiest celebrity is a funny question, I think, actually.
No,
Who's
that
the
puts
worst
them in a terrible spot.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's why it's good.
Who was the crappiest
No,
celebrity
don't
at your wedding?
ask him like that. You got to be smart about it. Like, who was in the fewest amount of SNL sketches or something like that attended your wedding? Oh, you can't go crappy.
Give me a second.
He's putting
Filibuster
together a
while
top
I- while I
5.
do
Hold on,
this.
he is putting together a top. I don't know which top 5 he's putting
I
together.
said
Do you think Reed?
Top
Do you
5
think
people
Reed?
of note.
Do you think Reed makes the top 5?
I do
Not-
think
no chance.
No
but you
chance,
can't
no
use
chance.
you can't use your father-in-law.
What year did you get married, just so we have a frame of reference?
2005.
Had to be when Seth Meyers was famous. So
This is like kind of that was sort of like transition times. That was kind of like we were moving into the.
In 2005, Jimmy Fallon was having a moment.
Did Seth charge you like a fee?
No, it
Yeah,
was just
like
for-
a small fee,
did he ask you follow-ups like, what's your last
like
name?
an appearance fee.
Did he have to get like a suit tailored at Men's Warehouse or something like that?
What famous band performed at your wedding?
Why would he have to get a suit tailored at Men's Warehouse?
It's like that same thing. You're in a bridal party and
It's not
you
called
gotta go to a
Men's
men's warehouse and you
He's
gotta.
Seth
He's right.
Meyers.
You
your
gotta show
measurement's
up.
taken,
He's
you
not
know?
you.
He has never stepped foot in a men's warehouse.
Did he walk in as a customer, but did he leave as a friend?
Did he like the way he looked?
It's guaranteed.
I guarantee it.
Jinx.
He's
can't-
putting together a
I'm going to
top
say right
5.
now, you cannot use Regis.
Mike, Men's Warehouse is kind of like an affordable suit place for us normies.
Poor
Yeah.
Kyle, man.
Yeah.
He probably had a
you
lot of
don't
good
have
notes.
you don't have an old Italian man who just comes to your house and tailor makes you suits like I do.
Do you know how good the guest list had to be that it's taking them this long to put together a top 5?
Is this
crazy.
best celebrities or worst celebrities at your wedding?
He's doing best.
I'm gonna,
Okay,
I'm
good.
gonna also
I want worse.
ask a follow-up list, so start having your mind best celebrity but with worst gift. All right, so yeah.
Okay,
most
wait.
famous celebrity
hold-
that provided the
all right.
worst. The bottom 5 gifts from celebrities at your wedding.
Did Seth Meyers give a gift, or was his gift the speech that he made? Like, did he give you a gift, or
I believe he also, as per tradition, gave us a wedding gift. Let me
asked a lot
suggest
out of
something
him.
to you right
What
now.
was it? Gift
Instead
card?
of doing something very tacky, where I name celebrities who were at my wedding, can I instead tell you a fairly incredible story about a particular wedding gift that I got from a particular person who attended the wedding? And I will promise you in advance it's worth your time.
all right? Tell us the story first, and then we'll see.
I know.
okay?
I know the story. It's a good one.
Yeah, I have to go get. Give me 30 seconds to go get this object.
So
and then I will tell you the story.
we're exchanging this for the list.
Yes, but I promise you it's worth it.
It
I
is a
promise
good
you.
story.
There's no bid. I promise you it's worth it. Give me
it-
10 seconds to go get this.
It will shock you. There was someone that attended his wedding that will shock you.
Yeah,
Given what you know about Mike Schur.
but how do you feel about this exchange? Because
Is it
we were
Trump?
about to get the top 5.
There's a payoff here. Not just the person, but the gift.
Okay.
The gift is so on brand.
So since you know, you would rather have this story
it's
for
a
the
great
audience.
story.
Okay.
It's a great story.
Okay.
It's a fantastic story.
Okay, here we go. 2005,
The story was ruined. We already know the answer.
Yeah, we
New York City. I heard. I was still listening.
AirPods.
So a good
Were you
friend of
furious?
a good friend of my in-laws at the time was a New York real estate mogul named Donald Trump. He later would go on to be the president of the United States. So we get in the mail, my wife and I, a giant box from the Trumps that said, and we're like, oh my God, this is the wedding gift. Like, this is amazing. What did Donald Trump get us for a wedding gift? And we pull it out, and I'll show it to you. It's this vase.
But wait, there's more.
I believe it is the ugliest object I've ever seen. It's certainly the ugliest
Probably
object
expensive,
I
though.
own. But I believe that it's the ugliest object I've ever seen in any medium. So we're like, okay, what is this story here, right? Like, did he he didn't go to a store and buy this? Like, he didn't even have his assistant go
You
buy
didn't
this. Like,
register for that.
No, we didn't register for this vase. So we're trying to theorize, and there's no note, there's no piece of paper that says like, here's what this is or anything. So I'm like, what is the story here? I formulate a theory. The theory that I formulate is that it is overflow decoration from one of his casinos. Like, he bought 5,000 identical $12 vases to go into like the Atlantic City casino. And I was like, right, like imagine you're walking down a hotel corridor in a casino, cheap casino hotel, and there's like stanchions all along the walls, right? And like every 10 feet, there's like a vase like that looks fake fancy, right? Maybe I'll bet that's what this
Fancy.
is. And as I'm formulating that theory, I look and I turn it around and look at the back. There's nothing on the back. So
was
clearly,
facing the wall.
it's designed to just face out like this. And he's so cheap that they didn't. He was like, "No, don't paint the back. The back's gonna face the wall of the casino."
Told
Not
you it was
amazing.
worth it.
I mean, look how
It's
ugly.
worth
Look
it.
how
Yeah.
diabolically ugly this object is. It's
I'm
just
sure-
shocking.
I'm sure now we've told this story on air now, but I feel like if you had sold this during the height of Trump's presidency, you could have gotten a lot of money
have done
from
a
one
lot
of
of
his
good for
supporters.
I had a plan to go on Seth's show because he was there and he knows the story, and auction it off and give all of the money to either a charity that was fighting something he was doing or just his opponent. Like,
Or
just
Joe,
make a-
Joe Biden.
I was like, whatever, and then you own this thing. You can smash it with a sledgehammer. You can throw it off a building, do whatever you want.
Oh, next
and
Moss.
then then the pandemic hit. the pandemic hit, and I was thwarted. But yeah, maybe if he runs again, maybe I'll still do that.
Yeah, next Moss Miami, we destroy the vase.
I mean, fantastic.
Or just smash it right now. That clip will
proud.
kill on social.
Oh yeah, do that right now.
Just stand up and spike it right now. Come on.
No, I wanted to. If
Insult
I
the Buffalo
destroy
Bills
it,
while
which
you
I
do it.
want to do, I want it to be. I want it to raise money for something.
For Ron
I
McGill's
wanted to
Wildlife Conservation Fund.
Take out the Bills right before. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, it's what Donald would have wanted.
Yeah, say that Ralph Wilson Stadium should have a dome over it before you do it.
Yeah.
You really get the socials.
Can I somehow still pry the list out
Yeah,
of you?
I like the list, if possible.
You started working on the list, so just give us what you had already worked on.
Right.
No, I'll just say that number one is that Tony Bennett sang "Fly Me to the Moon."
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Nice. Reed got that done for you, huh?
He did indeed.
He's a friend. All right, let's get your set of the day.
Start of the day,
So awesome.
start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day.
The stat of the day is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Folks, very few professional basketball players make it to a 20th season. According to StatMuse, the most points per game in a 20th season, Robert Parrish had 3.9 points per game.
The Chief,
Vince Carter had 5.4.
Insanity.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 10.1.
Lou Alcindor.
Oh my God.
Nickname?
Captain.
Dirk Nowitzki had 12 exactly points per game in his 20th season. And with a whopping 17.6 points per game, an unbelievable figure in his 20th season, the late, great Kobe Bryant. Oh, sorry, my bad. He's not in first place. He's in second place. In first is LeBron James, who's averaging 27, 8.5, and 6.5. In his 20th season, 27 points per game.
Mike, thank you so much for that story. Really, the stat of the day paled in comparison, but we finally got the Trump vase.
We've got one more question about your wedding before you go, though.
Hey, Mike, it's Tony. Listen, quick question for you. 2005, I put that basically in the heart of one of the best times in reggaeton history. Did you guys have any reggaeton at the wedding or no?
Gasolina.
Zion and Lennox.
Say
Daddy
we
Yankee.
did. We had a
way.
band. I think there was some at the rehearsal dinner party the night before. But we had a band. We didn't have a DJ. So I think it was more like
Yeah, Tony Bennett.
it was more like Hey Ya, and it was more like Outkast and stuff like that than reggaeton. But I got white guys for talking about Outkast.
How many times did you play Hey Ya?
I didn't play anything.
You did
the
the dance,
band
didn't
played
you?
it.
Yeah.
You were on the dance
How many
floor,
times did you
ready?
shake it like a Polaroid
Exactly,
picture?
Can
yeah.
you just say hey ya for us?
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think that's fair.
Was Gelman there?
If I had said we had
Good question.
like Paul Anka instead of reggaeton, fine. But Outkast, come on.
Was Gelman there?
Gelman was there.
Of course he was. He's family. I mean, come on.
Is it a good gift from Gelman?
I don't remember offhand, but I believe it was. Kelly Ripa was
It's
there
a trip
too.
to Morocco.
We had the whole show.
How much money did you make? I mean,
Off the wedding?
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody
cash
knows the
gifts.
best part of the wedding is just sitting back counting the envelopes.
Oh, it's the best. Right at the end, yeah.
I don't think we made $1. I don't think anybody gave us money.
Wow.
I mean,
No gift
why
cards?
would anyone give us money?
Classic rich
When-
people.
Yeah.
It's a wedding.
Why would
Yeah.
anybody give you a vase from their casino?
Right.
Fair.
All right, Mike. Happy holidays. Thank you so much.
Hey,
for
is this
joining
your
us.
last show of 2022?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Yep.
Yeah.
You went out with a bang,
You went
Mike.
out with
Yeah.
probably. It's certainly a Suey nominee for story.
If you got married like this upcoming year, who from the show is getting invited?
Just Dan.
Oh, great question.
It's just Dan.
Well, how many people
I don't
attended
know.
your
I,
wedding?
I guess it would
Whitney
depend
is
on the
looking longingly
depend on
into
how the
that-
size of the wedding.
Yeah, how many
You
people
know.
went to yours? Like
Whitney is
500
looking
plus?
into that screen like he feels he should be invited.
He does.
It was like 220 or something.
Well, that's not
I
that
mean,
big.
honestly, there would be fewer folks probably invited by our parents and my in-laws and stuff. So there'd be more room. I'm gonna say the whole shipping container can come.
Yes.
Everybody, you guys are all in.
right. Yeah.
If I get married again this year, you guys,
The old renewing of the vows, you know?
You're from Hollywood.
You got 3 weeks. Get on it.
Yeah. Thank you for hosting Tony's MMA Hangout, by the way, live from your wedding. We're going to appreciate that, especially Juju. All right. Happy holidays, Mike.
happy holidays, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.